Long Island Congressman Peter King is a member of the Homeland Security Committee. He's the chairman of the subcommittee on counter-terrorism and intelligence. He joins us now by phone. Congressman, thanks for joining us, and a lot of questions tonight. I know it's very early, but people have to be wondering, was this guy perhaps a lone wolf? Was he inspired? And was he on the radar of international intelligence? Can you answer any of that right now?
I cannot give you a definite answer. I can tell you I've been speaking with a number of people involved in the investigation. And that's the main thing they're looking for now, as to whether or not there's any overseas involvement. They're going through all his social media to see if they can track anything down. So far as I know, and at least as far as they know, there was nothing obvious that jumped out right away. But that's only at the first look. They're right now going through everything. And for the most part, he came here in 2010, but he lived in Tampa, down in Florida most of the time. And recently he's been in Jersey, so he's not really a New York person. So, but again, all of this is being analyzed and looked at. As far as overseas, at the very least, I believe he was inspired by ISIS. That we can be pretty certain of. Whether or not he had contact with anyone overseas, whether or not he dealt with any actual ISIS operative, that we don't know yet.
Congressman, also, big question. How do you prevent this sort of thing? We know that last year ISIS was calling on, their people to carry out these vehicle attacks. So the NYPD went around to car rental companies talking to them, saying, let us know if anyone suspicious pops up. But really all we know so far about the suspect is that maybe he had a couple of traffic incidents on his record, but nothing that would stand out really and deem him suspicious. So is there any way to prevent this sort of thing? I mean, that area doesn't seem to have too many stanchions or concrete barriers. Do we need to put up more barriers? Is there an answer here?
Well, this is the toughest type of attack of all to stop. If the person does not have any history on social media, if he's not been known in his community to be an outspoken radical, if he hasn't been seen at any radical meetings or anything like that, and if he's not been buying any high-powered weapons or explosives or extra amounts of fertilizer or anything like that, it's very tough. If anyone driving a vehicle can just crash into a large crowd, should there be more barriers? Perhaps they should. They've done that at Times Square after you had the tragic accident a few years ago at Times Square. All that, I can assure you that the police commissioner of the NYPD is the best at this. They'll be analyzing that. But the reality is you can't put barriers everywhere. And if these people want to succeed, the only really way you can stop them is if they don't have anything on social media, is just to have good surveillance, hope that they say something to someone, and that person tells the police, tells the FBI, tells NYPD. But this is the enemy we're up against, and I wish I could say there's a magic answer, but there really isn't. Sometimes the crimes are things that can be, you have a very good chance of preventing. This one, if you don't get the person when they're renting the car, if you don't have any reason to be suspicious of them, after that, all the odds are in their favor.
Okay, Congressman Peter King, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us this evening.